And, I mean, do you wanna share with everybody, I mean, how much you guys still have out of the last fire tax money that was given to you?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I probably could have something for you next month.
Okay, I would appreciate it. And I would also appreciate it, you know, I think it's inappropriate for the fire department to be flipping my husband and I off. You know,
I,
the volunteers shouldn't be flipping us off. I mean, they represent the fire department, you know. I represent the township. I don't return with flipping them off. I think it's inappropriate.
in the past you folks have.
I have never flipped anybody off.
But,
No, I think it's inappropriate, and I would
it's-
appreciate it if you could talk to your volunteers and tell them not to be flipping us off. I mean,
I will, Mr. Marshall, will you pass that along?
Absolutely.
And,
Okay.
The thing is, you don't have any control over it, you know, anything on that respect stuff is you can't command respect, you have to earn it.
Yeah,
Well, I think, you know, when the township is willing to work with the fire hall, I think it's inappropriate for the volunteers to be flipping myself and my husband off. I mean, how do you work together and trying to extend the olive branch when you're being treated like that? It's, you know, pretty
Well,
hard to say.
and depending on how the thing goes, depending on who sees who drive by and what's on blogs, you have lies, and then when somebody tries to correct it, it gets taken off. So we'll just leave it go at that.
Well, I appreciate if you talk to them. And also, I'd appreciate too, if you didn't take your granddaughter with you on fire calls.
I don't. That's what I was referring to.
You
Yeah.
had your granddaughter with you that day when you had your red light on.
Yeah, when we went to the car wreck on 62. I did not have my granddaughter with me. I had Shane McCleary with me, and he responded online to your husband, and he took it off. I don't know how you can, a 22-year-old male with a ball cap and a beard, but my granddaughter was not with me. I do not, you know, I
I know
don't
what I
take her,
saw.
I wouldn't take her.
I stand by what I saw. The same way I stand by the individual that had the baby in the car last year that was responding to a wreck.
Okay, do you guys have anything for him?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Frank, last, October 2nd, you went up to the court for finance the beverage and got money or got beer and stuff for the 20 gun raffle.
What day, what date?
This was dated October 2nd. Or August 2nd.
Okay, anyway.
It amounted to $1,301. Did you take the kegs back, or do you still have them at the fire department?
Took the cake back as far as I know. That wasn't me.
They've been returned. Okay. Now, I was up there and they gave me a check, it's right here, for $180.
From Tyne to Beverly.
Yes,
Okay.
for the township. Now, you also bought 42 cases of beer plus 6 kegs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this check here is for returning the 6 kegs, because John told me he couldn't find where you returned them.
I did not return them. Frankie would have returned them.
No,
Oh, you take them?
our person.
Okay.
Now,
Then Mr. Marshall.
here's the check for you.
Is there a receipt with that, Homer?
Huh?
Is there a receipt, what you're reading off of, or
This is what, yeah.
if there's a receipt, then it goes with that slip?
Well, that's not a receipt. He just told me that he could not find where he paid you anything for the return of them kegs.
I don't remember seeing any, well, I'll have Sandy check on it, and if he did, I'll drop it off. I'll drop the check back off, we'll make it, but, thank you.
So we'll check into it for sure and.
Alrighty, everything else on this? Jim, do you have anything?
No,
No. Alrighty.
I have a question, probably really not a question.
No, go ahead.
If that's not my, it's your gun raffle, you've had 8 half kegs of beer and 42 cases?
I think Carmen said 6.
How much was it, Wendy?
Six kegs, 42 cases.
Cases.
It's a lot of beer.
15 gallons
42
or half, but 60
40
gallons or 2.
The 42 cases we do as a prize in a game, and the game, well, what do you call them?
They didn't drink that much beer.
No,
That's a lot of beer.
No, the 42 cases is for a game, and the kegs get what?
Okay, does anybody have anything else? Okay,
Linda,
yes,
could the Board of Supervisors just, provide for us, a list of some kind of specific information that you would like for us to have to you?
For
at the next
questions.
meeting? Yes,
okay,
just a list of specific questions that you have,
okay.
Oh, yeah, I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so we'll
yeah.
help, and then you'll have them answered for us in the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Don't come up with the last minute and decide, don't call earlier
Yeah,
in the day
say-
and decide
Well,
you want the
who
answer.
do you want us to be the contact person for the fire department?
Mail it to the fire department.
Okay. Alrighty,
And if you have any concerns or whatever, you can either call myself or call Mr. Marshall.
okay.
Township meeting is not this particular,
For what?
Correct, Dave.
for this discuss fire department, what the law for driving a person in their car.
Well, this is where the fire department with the fire tax that we have been, which was the 1 mil, the taxpayers are paying for the fire tax, so they wanna know where their money in different.
We-
things
we
go.
understand that,
I
but-
understand that,
But bringing
Bringing up.
the fact that, hey, every time I go by you, I flip you off, or that this isn't the place for those kind of
I
meetings.
know, but I've been a supervisor for the last 2 years, and I was told that I wasn't allowed to come into the fire department meetings, and every time we wanted to have talk fire department issues, we got into a big argument about it. So that's why we're discussing.
Well, we're just saying, as new residents and new property owners, I don't wanna waste my time hearing that.
Well, and your name is, because.
Cinnamon Evans,
Oh, Cinnamon. And you're Robbie Evans?
Yes,
not Robbie, Robert.
Robert.
Robert? Okay. Alrighty. Next, old business,
Yeah.
amended budget. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed 2012 amended budget?
Are you gonna do anything about the other money before you do the budget?
We did tell you that we were going to give you the fire relief.
Plus the $10,000?
That's right.
And that'll be in the minutes?
Yes,
Absolutely?
yes.
Thank you.
Already, do I have a motion to approve the proposed 2012 amended budget?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the budget.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. New business, Pennsylvania League of Cities and Municipalities.
The membership is $65, and it is to buy state surplus. I don't even know where you go, we've been there before, but it's just a membership to be able to buy. So if we don't know if you would like to renew your membership.
You guys want to renew it? I don't really see that we have to go buy surplus, I mean, what was really what we were gonna buy.
Desk, tables, computers, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
There are things there, I got our list, copy, there are things there that tend to get, a lot of things. Where's it located? Harrisburg or Hermitage?
Harrisburg or Hermitage? Well,
That's
I'm not
really-
familiar with it.
I don't know, I can't say one way or the other, but do.
I know you can, if you take your township credentials, they'll let you pass through, go and look and see before you pay the fee, so if you want to do that, you can, people do that.
Okay, that might be a good idea. Table that for right now,
Okay,
and we'll see because
They have trucks and
we're
loading.
gonna discuss, PSATs later,
okay,
and I'd like to go to PSATs.
okay,
So if I'm down there in Harrisburg, I
okay,
could
okay.
look into this.
Okay, so you wanna table it, then I have a motion to table it for next
Ye-
month?
Yes, I'll make a
Okay.
motion to table it for next month.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we need to appoint a secretary for the open records officer. I spoke to Jan, and she is willing to be our secretary, of open records officer. What do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Okay, do I have
I'll
a,
make a motion that we appoint Jan for secretary of open records office.
alrighty, do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Already, resolutions and ordinances. Cinnamon,
Yes.
I have, Vicky from the Municipal Code Association here. And would you like to ask her any questions before I brought her here for you?
From me?
Yeah, because
No,
you wanted to look at the ordinance, and I was
As a
wondering,
tax-paying resident.
yes, but I was wondering if you had any questions that you
Um,
would like to ask.
I guess my biggest question is, what exactly is the Municipal Code Association? And who will that consist of?
It's a multi-municipal association formed under the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act, which means a bunch of municipalities got together and formed an association, and we provide sewage, building, stormwater management, and zoning services for our member municipalities. You can choose all the services, or one of them, or two of them, or like a cafeteria plan, you pick whichever service that you need.
Okay.
What we do is we provide the full administration, so rather than your secretary providing the administration, dealing with the state, doing the paperwork, that kind of thing, we do that. We also provide the sewage enforcement officers, licensed by the state, the building inspectors, licensed by the state, the building code officials, licensed by the state, zoning officials who, in those circumstances, are zoning officers. They become familiar with the zoning, each individual's zoning ordinance, and enforce those.
Okay. How, as someone who just purchased a property
Mhm.
in Henry Bend,
Mhm.
we may have to have, hypothetically, let's say we need to have some work done on our holding tank for our sewer.
Okay.
How long are we going to have to wait for a permit? How long are we going to have to wait for someone to inspect it? I mean, are we looking at, local people doing that, or as someone who's that's not my full-time residence,
Okay.
I have a full-time job, I don't have, I wanna know who's gonna be available and when. Unfortunately, the township building is only open from 10 to noon on Wednesdays. Those of us who work full-time jobs, supporting my 3 properties, I also own a Rundle and Cranberry, as long as my home, I need to know when these people are going to be available to me.
Okay, well, we are available, we have, right now is the off-season, so we are available, our public hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 2.
Okay.
Which means, well, the first thing that you would do would be to call the township office, and I drop off cards, they can give you our phone number.
Okay.
We return calls within 24 hours.
Okay.
If you call outside of the public hours, we're usually there until 4 or 5
Okay.
anyways. But if you leave a message, within 24 hours, we return your call.
Okay.
Typically, within 3 days, after you make application, we would return your call and talk to you about what your concerns are
Right.
and take it from there. Sometimes, you know, depending on the situation, there isn't really anything that we need to do. If your
Okay.
system is working,
Right.
if it's flushing, if you don't have soft, wet ooh and goo in your yard,
Right.
typically you don't need us for anything.
Okay.
Most of what we do is new construction,
Okay.
where you bought a piece of ground and now you want to put a sewage system there so you can then put a home there.
Right. Our future plans is to remove, to live there permanently,
Mhm.
and is to remove the existing, and I have a feeling, since it's a cottage, I have a feeling we're gonna have to put in a bigger, holding tank for 4 people.
Well, that's possible,
So,
especially if it's just a holding tank,
Yeah,
because,
I don't,
You
we
don't
just
know.
purchased
You don't know.
it, it was,
well, that would be something that we'd work together on to
Great.
figure out what you have there
okay,
and what you're gonna go to. If it is just a holding tank, holding tanks work, they're very expensive because they fill up quickly
right.
and need to be pumped out,
Mhm.
so That's okay.
No, it doesn't work.
That's okay.
They get, okay, yeah, we, unfortunately, on all 3 properties, we have holding tanks.
okay,
We're well aware of the cost of
pumping them, okay?
pump and poop. Yeah. The other question I had was the bylaws. It says such bylaws will be provided in the manner on which property or property real, or, which doesn't make any sense, by the way. I'm assuming it should say real estate. It says which property, real or personal, shall be acquired, managed, or disposed of. What are the bylaws?
The bylaws are the bylaws under which we're governed.
Okay,
It's like,
like the township's bylaws, is that
no,
what you're,
it's
or your bylaws?
yes, Municipal
Oh,
Code
okay.
Association has
Okay,
their own
that
bylaws.
was unclear, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. And complaints, what if there are complaints, how do you
Again, you call our office.
call the office? Alright, I think that's it, that's all I have, thank you.
I have a question. The townships are very often called upon to ask, what would the rate be for this, that, what would the rate be for a new system, what would the rate be for repair? Are you gonna provide the township with a list of,
What we've provided the township with is our phone number.
oh, okay.
It's, first of all, we, Municipal Code Association, do not quote prices on the costs of systems, because those can vary depending on what type of system, who's installing it, how much of the work you do yourself, where you get your pieces and parts. So that isn't our expertise. Our expertise is in testing and permitting and then enforcing. So what rates we would talk to people about is the cost for our sewage enforcement officer to come to the site and do the testing that determines what kind and what size system that you need, or what kind of a repair you might need.
And how many sewage enforcement officers do you have?
4.
And I believe one is local in Oil City, or is he with you?
We
Is the
don't have,
gentleman local in Oil City?
No.
I mean, he might have been contracted with Cranberry Township. We've already had him on,
Yeah,
rental properties. with
not-
Cranberry Township.
not with us, no.
Oh, great, thank you.
And basically, when someone calls, hypothetically,
Mhm.
someone calls, say a homeowner's having problems and their front yard is full of sewage. Now, the township is responsible for some of your fees, so it's not like it has been in the past.
The township doesn't,
See, in the past, the SEO would send a bill to the township to pay for his services.
Mhm.
And basically, the Municipal Code Association handles basically everything and takes the money for their own fee directly from the person or whoever their client happens to be.
that's correct. It's
Okay.
a user fee, just like cable TV or
Right.
cell phone.
Right.
It's a user.
And there are
user-
instances where someone will call and say, you know, I just had a guy up there pumping my septic, and he says I have a smashed lateral, it's not getting to the French drain, or to the, leach field, you know, what do I have to do? And there, in instance like that, I don't believe you guys are even involved in that, with the exception of just making sure it is a lateral,
From the
right?
house to the tank, we're not involved.
Right.
From the tank
Okay.
out, we are,
Okay. From the tank to the leach field, and where the leach field goes, you are?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Ginger?
How does Mike Girl fit into it?
Mike Grill is still your building inspector.
Yes, yes. This is our sewage enforcement
We're sewage.
officer.
Yeah, but I understand somewhere where it explains their organization, they also are involved in building inspection.
We are, but we're not,
No.
the township isn't using us for building, you're staying with Mike Grill. Mike Grill is one of our inspectors as well. But your relationship with us, the township, President Township relationship with municipal code is just for sewage enforcement. Building will still be with Mike Grill.
But by choosing you, your particular company, it isn't as if the supervisors are trying to create a witch hunt environment that anybody that digs a hole outside their house, they're gonna call you. It's just that if there's an event where sewage is running out on the road, or the neighbor has to smell it, or something like that, that's when you guys basically come into play.
Yes.
Okay.
Or when
So there's
someone-
not a witch hunt here, it's just, there's certain things that have to be done a certain way, and you're the person to do it. Okay.
Anybody else have any questions for her? No? You guys have any questions for her? Okay, then do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 20121, the Pennsylvania Sewage Contract for the Municipal Code Association to be our primary SEO?
When did you read the ordinance the first time?
The ordinance the first time, they sent us the ordinance, when we voted in, and that's what we advertised.
Right, but you did not read the ordinance. You did not read the title to it, or you did not read any part of the ordinance at the last meeting. So how can you pass it at this meeting? Because it has to be posted, it has to be read once and posted, and then read again.
She's saying no, it doesn't.
Second class township code requires an advertisement in a local newspaper.
That's it.
It doesn't get read at a meeting.
No.
It's not a requirement. If that was done by past practice, it isn't a requirement for it to be a valid ordinance.
Okay.
Can you read the number again? I'm trying to write down my pen drive.
It's ordinance number 2012-1, Pennsylvania Sewage.
Is that O or zero?
Zero. It's on, and then, do you have the agenda?
I'll just grab
You
it.
got one.
I got one, thank you.
Already, do I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2012-1.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Would like